So this should not shock anyone. We are less than 5 months from the presidential election of 2024, where we will choose between two old men. And to no one's surprise, Gen Z is refusing to actually go and vote. Yeah. So they're demoralized. They feel like the state of the country is terrible. And honestly, they're too lazy to get off the couch. They're too lazy to get out of their parents' basement to go and vote. Remember what I said? They are the sleeping and farting generation? This is an amazing group of people. This is truly an amazing group of people. If this is what these people are like in their late 20s, in 10 years, those of them that are still around, they are going to be a extremely desperate group of individuals as they are destitute. Many of them, most of them, will be destitute in 10 years just based on the way that they are living their life. These kids aren't built for it. Times are hard right now. We're heading for a new depression. The entire world is about to undergo another change. And these kids are like this now. When times get really, truly hard, unstoppably hard, like Gen Z could never make it through the Great Recession. They would never make it through the Great Recession. If they actually didn't have their parents to fall back on, they would not make it through the Great Recession. Not the way these muffins are. You really think they can handle a depression, an actual depression, or downright global economic collapse? No. Those of them that are still around in 10 years are going to be so desperate. Like I said, this Gen Z today in 2024, it's going to look like the golden age of Gen Z compared to what they're going to look like in 10 years. It won't take 10 years to get there. It'll be much sooner than that. But compared to today, they're going to be so bad in 10 years because they are going to be destitute, all right, and desperate. And there's a saying that I heard recently: a hungry man is a dangerous man. And these people are going to be so hungry and so desperate and so destitute. And they're already committing crimes. They're already stealing. They're already proud of this. They are godless. I mean, they're the modern day version of the hippie. So they're going to be doing every horrible act in the book. All right. They already don't bathe. So forget about hygiene. They're going to be even worse than 10 years. And these people are going to be pushing 40, a lot of them in 10 years. 40. All right. What do you think that really looks like? All right. They're going to be around. They're going to be all over the place, smoking pot, drinking in public, huffing on Fenty. I mean, stealing from everyone. Okay. The prisons are going to be filled with them. The prisons are going to be filled with Gen Z and Gen Alphas. And like I said, Gen Alpha is going to be a large prison population. All right. These people there are going to be so many of these people in the prisons that they're like, you can't hold them. We don't have enough space for these people. Okay. It's literally going to be, we're going to have all these criminals in the streets because we don't have enough space to hold them. Like, you're going to have a lot of really bad criminals, bad Gen Z criminals and others. And they're going to be let out of, it's going to be a revolving door because there will be no one to hold them. And members of law enforcement, it's shrinking. More and more members of law enforcement are saying, you know what? We don't want to do this anymore. We're not going to work in law enforcement. So the numbers are going down. All right. The numbers are going down. Men are walking away. Men are like, yeah, we're done with society. Men don't have a dog in this fight. They're not going to fight. They're not going to fight for a society that hates them. And women are going to be so destitute, it's going to be ridiculous. There's really no end in sight for anyone. But men, like I said, the average man could live comfortably in a shoebox at the side of the road. So a lot of men are going to find a way to survive because that's just what men do. Men are built for suffering. And not only can men survive, but they can thrive in the face of suffering, regardless of suffering. It is during hard times that some men become legendary. Something I was taught by someone once. Let's jump into the video.
We are less than 5 months before the presidential election, so let's take a look at how young voters feel about the big issues and the candidates. A new CBS News poll shows that voters under the age of 30, which we're calling young, favor President Biden by more than 20 points. But the numbers also reveal major questions about whether those folks will actually show up at the polls. Kaylin Huey-Burns listened to young voters across the political spectrum in the battleground state of Arizona to find out what's on their minds ahead of this critical election.
Chaotic.
Kind of scared a little bit. I don't feel like anything is improving.
Shambles.
These are the voices of young voters in Arizona describing how they feel about the state of the country right now, and their vote could be key in picking the next president if they show up.
The couch is looking real comfy right now.
So you'd be entirely comfortable staying home?
For sure. Absolutely.
Roger Ward is 29 and doesn't feel like any of the candidates are speaking to issues affecting young Black Americans.
You have to give us something to vote for.
Do you think that sitting this election out sends a message?
Absolutely, because we're weaponizing our vote.
I just registered a week ago.
Adam French, who is 26, was planning to sit this one out until he considered a third option.
I didn't feel like inspired, but yeah, seeing RFK was like, okay, now I actually want to vote.
At an arts festival in Phoenix, other first-time voters spoke about their concerns.
I'm not happy about my options, but I do understand that if I don't vote, then it's probably a vote for Trump, and I don't want that.
New CBS News polling shows 66% of voters under 30 say they will definitely vote in November. But that's far less than older Americans. Young voters were key to Biden's victory in 2020, but among those who did show up 4 years ago, only 3/4 say they'll do so again. And the economy is a central issue. Our new poll shows a majority feel it's gotten harder to buy a house, raise a family, and get a good job. Some said that's driving their support for Trump.
He seems more competent. The cost of everything is kind of going up in general.
The economy is also critical for Biden supporters like Ruby Morales, a recent college grad who's working at a Starbucks while she looks for a career.
It's kind of unfortunate that my current job is paying more than my future job.
And it's not lost on young voters that they are having to choose between the two oldest candidates. Half of them say neither Trump nor Biden understands younger people, and they're less likely to want to vote because of that.
Preferably somebody under the age of 50 would be awesome. In 2020, it's the same options you had then, and we all saw how that went.
And it's also worth noting that while the economy is a top concern for these young voters, the issue of abortion, climate, and race and diversity also rank higher for them than other age groups. And for those young voters not yet paying attention to this presidential race, all of those issues are likely to come up at this week's debate.
You know, so these muffins, I'll tell you right off the bat, they're not getting out of bed. These muffins aren't going to get out of bed. They're not going to get out of bed. The couch is looking really good right now. And a lot of them are going to go out there. Those who do go, they're going to go vote for RFK so they can throw their vote away, which is a great thing. But most of them are not going to get out of bed. A lot of them are just running their mouths right now. All right? A lot of the Z's are just running their mouths right now. They are not going to get up. They are not going to wake up to go and vote. All right? They're going to be too high and drunk. Okay? You think they're going to get up on a day when they don't have to go out and do anything? Hell no. They're gonna drink. Listen to me. They're gonna drink all night, smoke weed all night, eat, play games, then go to sleep and fart, and then by the time they wake up, the polls will already be closed. And they knew they were not gonna go. They knew they don't give a damn. All right, the sleeping and farting generation, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, you want even more of this content, consider checking out the Men Walking Away channel. I release daily videos on this channel. And you can find a link to the Men Walking Away channel in the description of the video. What do you guys think regarding this? You know, the sleeping and farting generation is refusing to go vote, and you know, even the ones who say that they will, yeah, they're just capping. They're just capping. They're not gonna go vote. Capping equals lying. What do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts on this, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWAM and walking away. And cheers.